Hello my people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Quickly, I want to react to the recent trending incident that occurred in Benin Republic about the coup that was later foiled on Sunday early this week. And if you look at the way this coup recently it has become a trending incident in Africa, it all points to one thing, which is poor leadership that we have in Africa, right from Niger to Africa countries. So if we actually have good leadership in place, some of these coup incidents would not keep reoccurring as we've been seeing in recent time. I just want to speak about the government of Nigeria's intervention swiftly to stop the issue of coup in Benin Republic. The truth is that it's highly commendable how Nigeria responded swiftly to the attempted coup in Benin Republic by sending two fighters jets immediately. But the truth is that I was beginning to ask if Nigeria could actually respond this swiftly at international issue. What about our internal issue here? We have been seeing the issue of kidnapping and banditry, herdsmen, invasion of communities, destruction of life and properties by the Boko Haram, the ISWAP, and some of these groups that are beginning to rise across the northwest, the northeast, even in the north central recently, and some other part of the country. If we could actually respond swiftly to outside issues, incidents like this, why can't we use the same energy channel to tackle our insecurity within the country? If this same energy we have had been previously deployed, I believe firmly that where we are together today would have been able to end this insecurity and terrorism going on in our country. So that means there are things happening which we are not aware as citizens. I just want to stop here at this point and allow us to watch the video that I'm about to play. Thank you. Stay tuned and don't leave. Make sure you watch it till the end, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel to get other video reaction. Thank you.
Are the problem, and they evolve from amongst us. We're all culpable on this. Well, amid reactions to the failed coup attempt, the coup leader, Pascal Thierry, reappeared in a video which went viral on Sunday, stating that they undertook the mission to free Benin from the dictatorship of President Talon before going on to caution France to stay out of their internal affairs. While ECOWAS released a statement on X condemning the coup, describing it as an unconstitutional move, while Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that they stand in firm solidarity with the government and the people of the Republic of Benin. Subsequently, at the request of President Talon, Nigeria sent Air Force fighter jets and ground troops to take over Benin's airspace and help dislodge the coup plotters, eliciting more reactions. There was a statement that was sent out by Bayo Ononuga. If we can take that statement, he wrote, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended the gallantry of Nigeria's military on Sunday for responding swiftly to the request by the government of Benin Republic to save its 35-year-old democracy from coup plotters. Well, he went on to state that the Nigerian government acted on two separate requests from the government of Benin. First, by ordering fighter jets to enter the country and take over the airspace to help dislodge the coup plotters. And secondly, the authorities in Benin requested the deployment of Nigerian Air Force assets within Beninois airspace for surveillance and rapid intervention operations under Benin-led coordination with Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oluyode, confirming that all the requests had been fulfilled. And, I wanted to take that response from an ex-user. I'll take that response after I hear from you. I'd love your comments about what has been going on so far with the fact that, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had, responded to this coup attempt swiftly. And the word swiftly had to be highlighted, really. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so a number of things this morning. Number one is that Benin Republic is about the same age as Nigeria in terms of independence, gaining independence. Benin Republic gained independence on the 1st of August 1960. However, as you can tell, they haven't been able to fully enjoy the dividends of the democratic system of government they've adopted, since gaining independence. And this, you would see the trend across different countries on the African continent, and particularly the West Africa region, whereby there have been a number of coups. In the Republic of Benin itself, only less than a year ago, two close associates of the president were indicted as, a coup was foiled, and two close associates of the president were indicted and handed 20 years imprisonment for the attempted coup. A little over a year afterwards, we are now seeing another attempt of a coup. A number of things could have been said would be responsible, OG. Number one, of course, is the lack of strong institutions, the fact that the people do not believe that they are enjoying the dividends of democracy. Only last month, the president had, through the rubber stamp assembly, extended the tenure of presidency limits from 5 years to 7 years. And this was said to be preparing the grounds for his anointed candidate in the next cycle of election, which is meant to take place next year, April of 2026. So these are some of the factors that some people have highlighted as a reason for why their agitations, and a small group of influential people, as was described by the foreign interior minister, have come together now to announce this coup. Thankfully, Nigeria rose up to the task as big brother. Dr. Bati said something earlier this morning, which I agree with, because I actually took note of that when it happened. Because one of the reasons, and number one, is Nigeria showing up as a big brother and still that influential force on the West African bloc. But also, very importantly, to sound a note of warning, because we have seen copycat coups along the West African region that anybody, group, individual that wants to think or has thoughts around this kind of move should know that Nigeria would respond, and respond swiftly. That we have a military that's able to counter any kind of coup attempts and would block it. Now, there have been conversations around the legality of Nigerians' movement, and there's been a broad conversation around this. But we'll see whether or not the president will transmit a letter to the Senate before 12 noon as the deadline given, to be able to express his invasion, as it were, or help, because they said he received a letter. But again, what people are saying is that, so Nigeria is strong like this.
Let me tell you,
we should be able to do this. I want that same swiftly to be given to the way, of course we know that terrorism is complicated. It's more complicated than this. But there are some certain areas. It means that we can swiftly arrest the bandits in the forest. We can swiftly get all these kidnappers. Nigeria has the power to do this. Let us do it.
Let me take the tweet about the idea of how Nigeria can swiftly respond. This is Chris, who wrote on X. Highlight the word swiftly. Interesting. So Nigeria has the capacity to swiftly defend democracy in another country, yet our democracy is in shambles. A democratically elected governor, Sim Fubara, was illegally removed. Terrorists are decimating our people and stealing their lands, and a brigadier general was killed by terrorists, etc. While at this point, I hope that the President of the United States can order the U.S. military to carry out military operations in Nigeria to flush out the terrorists swiftly. And, that was a harsh response. No, I would call it, it would appear harsh on television, but that's really the mindset of a lot of Nigerians who believe that these are the things that are going on in Nigeria. I'm hoping that Nigeria can actually also swiftly respond. Online, we also saw reports that the invasion had occurred. We saw some videos that were posted online as well. Yeah, that's one of the videos we saw from Cotonou with an actual, time code from that country. And I'll take a post from investigative journalist David Hudeyi, who wrote, "I think Nigeria is officially over tonight. Bombing your neighbor because a white guy in Paris told you to. Carrying out airstrikes against a fellow African country because Emmanuel Macron wanted you to. Only Apartheid South Africa ever did something like this." Rufai, let me come to you. A lot of people had been saying that the French president had intervened with that phone call that he made, telling the president that he was going to help with, security in Nigeria as well.
Okay, see, I might not support many things the government on ground does, but we can't pour on Nigeria's parade. It's not today that Nigeria has been investing heavily in securing our fellow West African brothers. We did that in Liberia. Over the years, between Liberia and Sierra Leone, we spent about $15 billion of our own money. So it's not today we've been doing that. The problems we had with it was that the president was supposed to notify the Senate about it. Secondly, the question we should now ask is, there's also a correlation with the case of Niger. That, okay, in the case of Niger, we didn't go in there because there were protests and everything, because of cultural ties and all of that. But the most important question we should ask is, what is leading to all this coup? African leaders themselves. Talon is not a sin. See the protests. People were saying, Abba Talon. Down with Talon. So a lot of people were not really in support of this man that had victimized a lot of people in his country. He has put in his finance minister as a likely successor now. Just on Saturday, the National Assembly in Benin Republic passed a law saying they were going to extend presidential term and things like that. So the leaders themselves have not crowned themselves in glory. And that's what we should keep talking about. If we keep having these Yahoo-minded leaders on the African continent, that once they get into power, they think life is all about them. And it's not only Talon. We could go back to the days of Matthew Kerekou. Kerekou also did the same too in Benin Republic. So when are we going to say down with these leaders, abba with these leaders? Just like Thomas Isodore Noah Shankara used to say back in the days, colonialism, abba, imperialism, abba. When are we going to say abba with these bad leaders on the African continent? Because if we don't say that, the coup will continue to happen. Despite the fact that we say we do not support coup, we are totally against coup. The coups will continue to happen if we don't speak tall against these leaders that are making the condition rife for these coups.
Like I rightly said, Dr.